Welcome back to Freedom in the Word. I am Minister Sherry Knotts.
I am Minister Lonnie Harris.
And we want to talk from the subject of the fruit of the Spirit. Minister Lonnie.
Yes.
You ever heard somebody say the fruits?
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is not fruits. It is fruit. It is singular. And it is found in Galatians 5, chapter 5, and the 22nd verse. Shall I read?
Absolutely.
Shall I read it for the people?
Yes.
All right, for the people in the back. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So that is Galatians 5, verses 22 and 23. And the reason why I point out in the beginning that it's fruit, not fruits, is because it is considered to be one virtue in the life of the believer. Okay. Now, each believer, whether we believe it or not, is endowed with all nine. Now, you know, we talked about patience last week, and y'all heard me say, some days I've gotten better. Patience is overrated. But we realize that God intends for us to have it. I'm just tell the truth.
Yes.
But now, Mr. Lundy, would you agree or disagree that the fruit is proof of being a believer?
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I think that once we become a believer, I think that what God does is He imparts His Spirit within us. And along with Him imparting His Spirit within us, we take on characteristics of Christ, which include the fruit of the Spirit. Now here's the thing that I like about the fruit of the Spirit is I may have a lot of love, but I may have just a little bit of meekness or a little bit of joy or a little bit of something else. And so there's always room for improvement and growth and development amongst these nine that make up the entire fruit of the Spirit.
And you know, fruit, they grow from seeds.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, just think of each one of these as, watermelon. There's a lot of seeds in a watermelon that compile that one watermelon. You would think that only one seed is needed to grow. Well, you bust that thing open, you got hundreds of seeds, right? It doesn't mean that it's 100 watermelon that's grown from those seeds. All those seeds were needed for that one watermelon. So tonight, we're going to be talking about love, joy, and peace. Okay. We're going to break it down so that you can get a lot of information. So with love, right? You had some verses.
Yeah, I know we've talked about love in previous telecasts. And one of the scriptures that I love is 1 Corinthians 13. That's one of the main scriptures where it talks about love, gives you the many characteristics and qualities around love. One of the most important scriptures for me regarding love is John 15:13. Okay. And it says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Of course, this verse was talking about Jesus Christ and being the ultimate sacrifice and the ultimate example of love. And so I kind of relate this to the love that we should possess for one another. Right. And I, as I said prior to this recording, there's only a few that in my circle, in my family, amongst my loved ones, that I can say I've got this type of love for. Yep. Now, I like a few people. I get along well with a few people.
Make it play.
But love is a strong and powerful word. Yeah, if I got to lay down my life for you.
Woo. Yeah. On second thought, we might not love one another. Let's just be real. Then you also think about John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. And that kind of goes into what you're saying. He gave His Son, and His Son laid down His life. So those are things about love. And we think about love being unconditional, but you also think about love being all things sweet.
Correct.
But people forget that love also has a bitter side to it too, right? The growth, the getting to know that person, the bonding, and all those things, the forgiveness, all those things that go with love. Yeah. So I think it to me is so divine, and it's kind of a challenge that love will be the first of the nine mentioned, right? So love is a good thing. It's a great thing, and I think that if you can get love under your belt, then the other 8 are not so bad, because we know that love involves sacrifice as well. Love involves some patience. Love involves some time. Love involves some fellowship. Love involves some intense fellowship, where we're going to disagree about some things. Love involves understanding. Love involves compassion. Love involves some discipline, some accountability, some consistency. Love involves honesty.
Correct.
Love involves some hurt.
It can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love involves some dirt too. It involves some secrecy. It involves some times where you're gonna have some silence, on your end and on the other person's end or people's end. So love, to me, it's all encompassing. And again, to me, if you can get love down, the other 8 just come.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that. As we transition, I think that love, like you said, if we start with love being the root, then we can easily move to joy and peace.
Yeah.
And joy, I think about one of the scriptures that I thought about with joy. Is in Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, in the 10th verse. It says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." Joy is just something that goes beyond just happiness, because it's not about what's happening in your life. Joy really looks beyond, what their circumstances are. Joy looks beyond what conditions you may be going through physically or mentally or financially. But it focuses on the center, which is your love and your connection with God, your love and your connection even with others, that you still find pleasure and enjoyment in whatever it is you're going through.
That's right.
Yeah.
No matter what you're going through, you may be going through a very, very, very rough time in your life or in your relationships, but it's the joy of the Lord on the inside. And that's, there's a song, "This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away." Now, my happiness, that's contingent upon a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Right? If the sun is hanging just right, the wind is blowing, got a little breeze, got a little air conditioning.
Correct.
That's what your happiness is contingent upon. But that joy, that's something that's ever established, because that is based on the Lord.
Correct.
And His joy is our strength. And if you ever feel like when you're having a rough time, if you can get somewhere and you can start praising God and just being appreciative of, even though it's a bad situation, but God, I got my health.
Oh, man.
God, I may not have all the money that I want, but I got a job.
Oh, yeah.
I may not live in that mansion on a hill, but I got a house. You know what I'm saying? So those are things, and it's like when you start to get those things that, you're like, I feel my health.
Absolutely.
I can make it through.
Absolutely. It's those quiet moments when you're by yourself, whether you're driving in your car by yourself or you're in your prayer closet. For me, it's those quiet times when you're just really, alone or spending time with God, that you can just really reflect and think about how joyful you really are.
What?
You can really think about, just the joy that you have on the inside, in spite of whatever it is that may be going on in your world. Yeah.
And I think you get the alternative view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hot, but it's hotter than that somewhere else.
Correct.
Right. So let me just make sure
it's
that
perspective.
my anchor.
Perspective. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So then transitioning from that, we go to peace. And peace is something that is priceless. It is invaluable. And let me tell you what, I'm going to have peace in my home at any cost. Understand? So in my biblical dictionary, we've got peace as many things, but one of the things it's defined as is reconcile. We've talked about that. You want peace among brethren. One of the scriptures in the Bible tells us that as much as it is possible to live peaceably with all brethren.
Correct.
I think that's Romans 12 and 18.
Okay.
To be at peace with each other. But we do know that peace costs, right? Peace costs. A lot of stuff, we go to war so we can have peace.
Correct.
We stand in line at the store so we can have peace sometimes at the house. Because, if your wife call you and tell you to bring something home, you might, I might need to get in that line.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But then peace also means to be silent. If I can hold my peace and let the Lord fight my battles.
Yes.
That's the song, victory shall be mine.
Yeah. I think for peace, for me, it's just that calm resolve. That God is in control.
Yes, He is.
That no matter what the circumstance, the situation, whatever it may be going on in your life, just when you can have that calmness and that tranquility.
Yeah.
To know it, to have all your confidence in God, to know that He's going to take care of it. You can say that the people will then look at you and say, well, how in the world is Minister Sharon going through and everything, and she just so joyful and so excited, and how in the world did this happen? You know, and for one of the scriptures I had for peace, Minister Sherry, is "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee." That comes from Isaiah 26th chapter in the 3rd verse. And I think that's what peace, because God is the source of these things, including peace. If we keep our mind, you know, if we keep ourselves and our thoughts so connected to God, yes, He will continue to give us that peace that we need.
Y'all better go and send him another offering. I'm telling you, that's a sermon. That'll preach. That'll preach. Right there. Yeah. But I mean, it does help us to keep things in proper perspective. When we keep our minds on Jesus, it's like the horse that's in the race. You know, the things that they put on there. Yeah. And that's on purpose. And that's what we're supposed to have. Yeah. And, you know, we can think of these aspects of the fruit of the Spirit as our blinders as well. Because things are going to happen in the life of a believer. That's a given. You're not always going to be on top of the world with everything. People are going to talk about you. People are going to walk away from you. People are going to befriend you, so to speak, so they can get from you, or they can try to steal your ideas or be like you, or whatever the case may be, only to buffet you behind your back. But if we have these things in our life, the life of a believer, he never guaranteed that we would have all these friends around us, right? No. He never guaranteed that it would be easy and every day would be sunny. But he did guarantee that we can take heart because he overcame the world. He did. Right? He did. So, love, joy, and peace. What are your closing thoughts? I think that really, for me, there's a challenge as we begin to look at the fruit of the Spirit, is to really do a quick self-evaluation and to say, hey, where do I still need growth? We're looking at myself, taking inventory of Lonnie and saying, what does Lonnie need to do to grow and develop more love, more joy, and more peace, so that the fruit of the Spirit can, as you said, can continue to grow and develop, and that seed that's within me can not only be inside of me, but also I can plant that seed in others as well. That's right. And I have absolutely nothing to follow that up. I told y'all sleeping. Y'all sleeping. He does have Cash App. All right. Until we meet again, I am Minister Sherry Knox. Minister Lonnie Harris. And we'll be talking to you soon. God bless you.